harmonious life, which becomes a little difficult in today's milieu, right? Health, and then we talk about happiness. Again, what is happiness? What is happiness? Happiness is a state of mind, isn't it? It's an attitude. It's how you look at things. Happiness, I mean, two people are given the same thing. It doesn't mean both of them are going to be equally happy. It's how you look at things. Yeah? So we'll talk more about that. So, talking from the woman's perspective, it's for a woman who's at the center of things. Yes, who, as we have said, is basically the backbone of the home and the house. And a lot of people in the Western world also today, feel, they look at India and they feel women are in an enviable position here, though they work harder. Women might work hard, but we are safe within our own cocoons of family and, whatever. A woman is the one who nurtures, instills values amongst the young ones. So she has a pivotal role to play in the family. She has to be the backbone of the family. Like you rightly said, behind every man there's always a woman, no? Be it the wife or the mother. A mother's role is also so very important. Or even a wife's role, whether the health of the family is concerned, the value system, and your health and your value system both go hand in hand, remember. Aapke values sahi ho, so you will also be healthy. If your value system is not in place, something is not quite balanced, eventually your health suffers, yeah? Because mentally, emotionally, you're not balanced enough. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you see, because behind a successful man, it could be either his wife or his mother.
My mother. Oh, okay, all right. Oh dear. All right. All right. Yeah, mother-in-laws. I mean, there are lots of jokes about mother-in-laws, but yeah. It could also be a daughter for the matter. You never know, But yeah. So behind every successful man, anyway, everybody agrees there's a woman. आपने तो खुद कहा था.
Because they are emotionally too strong compared to.
Yeah. So women, though, you're absolutely right. Women, though she's weaker physically, mentally and emotionally, we are a stronger sex, right? And therefore, it's the woman who can look after the house properly. And it falls to, it's her role basically. That's really, really pivotal in a home or a house. It's a woman who makes a house into a home. House kya char diware doesn't make a house. It's a woman's role which makes all the difference in the world. Yes? Health, happiness of the family, values. Everything depends on the woman. If the woman doesn't have her values right, she doesn't believe in a healthy lifestyle, so lifestyle setting is also a woman's job to a large extent. So what do we do and how do we go about it? How do we instill the right values in ourselves and have the right ideas? In yoga, what do we talk about? We talk about having a healthy lifestyle. Maybe we can go into a yogic way of life. What is a yogic way of life? Or even an old Indian way of life. What is yoga? Yoga is a lifestyle. It's a way of life. Just as Hinduism, it's not a religion. It's basically said to be a way of life. How you live your life. Similarly, yoga is also a way of life. So when we talk about a way of life, what do we mean? This is the way life has been lived all these many years. Yoga very often is confused with only asana. People look at it as exercises and some sort of breathing patterns and pranayam, whatever. Because that's all we see on TV very often. Of course, there's plenty that is also discussed. But very often, it's a mix-up with, योग माने exercise हो गया, आधा घंटा मैंने योग किया, 20 minutes किया, मेरा योग for the day is over. But no, that's not it. In fact, your yoga starts when your exercises end. Yoga is something you do through the day 24/7. It sounds, So, lead a yogic life. So what is the mantra for success? Whether it's for a woman or even for a man. Follow a yogic way of life. So when we talk about yogic way of life, what do we mean? The first, yoga was set up. It's been as ancient as life itself. They say that first yogi was Shiva, okay, the god. But it was put into some kind of a format later by somebody called sage Patanjali. So the first statement that he wrote is Atha Yoganu Shasanam. Now begins the discipline of yoga. So yoga is a discipline, a way of life. Live a disciplined life. And your life is happy and you make everybody else around you also happy. It's a disciplined way of life. I'll just quickly go through the yamas and niyamas. Yes. So what is yoga? Yoga is Ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga is, there are, Ashta is 8. 8 limbs of yoga. It begins with yama. Yam is how you live your life, how you should live your life. A strict code of conduct as to how you should live your life for society, how you interact with society. So there are 5 yamas, starting with ahimsa. Ahimsa, non-violence. So what happens is every woman should know these. She should follow this. And she should instill these in her family members. Start young. Very often a lot of people start yoga when they are rather old and they have not, rather late in life they come across it. But if you introduce it to your children at a younger age, they will understand the concepts better. Yeah. So in a nutshell, we'll just discuss. We won't discuss it at length. The first one is yama, the first step. So it's like a staircase, going up, ashtanga. You start from the bottom, and of course you follow the yamas and niyams throughout your life. It's a code of conduct. The first yama is ahimsa, non-violence. Non-violence in thought, words as well as action. Okay? So very often what happens is we teach children not to be violent, but that doesn't mean only doing something. Even if you think a thought, think bad about somebody, it's as good as done. So the first thing is, Gandhiji's 3 bandhas, right? So, no thought, no words, and no deeds. Even if you think badly of somebody, the deed is as good as done, even if you don't really hurt somebody personally. So try to keep your thoughts clean. Mouth. Very often women especially need to be told this, what men do? Men are more likely to knock each other down, especially more as children. Even older men, if they get angry, they're more likely to use their fists. Women don't do that. We are not a violent sect that way, but yes, we can be pretty violent in terms of our tongue. We use it more often to hurt people, and more often than not it is deliberate. You get angry with somebody, we tell them a few things, we think all sorts of things. Yeah, we may not actually go and punch somebody in the stomach, but it doesn't really matter. If we use our words, it's as bad. You think badly, it's almost as good as done. Yeah? So we have to be careful about these things, and we have to teach our young ones these. Instill these kind of values into young minds. So the first yama is ahimsa, then comes satya. Satya, honesty. Being absolutely honest and truthful. Being honest with yourself. You not only have to be honest with other people around you, but you have to be honest with yourself. And this is very, very important to instill in your family. Honesty amongst the family members and with everybody outside as well. It's so easy to teach children. We always tell children, we taught children all our lives, be honest. But how often the same parent will, when the child picks up the phone, tell the child, "Bolo main ghar mein nahi hu." There's no point in trying to do that, and a lie is a lie. 1. 2 is, how often are we honest with ourselves, with our motives? Very often we think something about somebody, whatever. Why? It could just be plain jealousy. It could be plain whatever. We have to be honest with ourselves. Jhaak lo andar dekh ke. Yes, if you can look within, look at yourself. See what you are saying, see what you are thinking. It makes a lot of difference. Yes? So ahimsa, satya, being honest, not only with other people, but being honest with yourself about your thoughts, your action, what have you. You have to be very, very honest. Satya, asteya. Asteya is non-stealing. Non-stealing, not stealing from most people, but that most of us anyway don't steal. So it's easy to say I'm not a robber or a thief, but yes, we may not steal stuff like that, but we might steal something in terms of ideas. In today's world, where the internet is something that we use so often, even little children, when they're asked to make some kind of a project, it's always cut, paste, cut, paste. We not only do that, but at the end of it, not most ideas anyway are original. So it's all right to do your cut paste job, picking up ideas from elsewhere. But give credit to whoever it is jinke ideas aapne pick up kiye. Like you watch a lot of movies which are made. Not very many of them are original. But how many of them actually say that this is the original source? From where it came? Almost 90% of the movies, made in India, or even outside maybe for the matter, most of it, thoda sa, whatever, basic idea, but not really everything. But so many of the ideas are picked up. But you don't give due credit. No idea is original anyway. Give credit where it's due, and then it will not be stealing. So even people like us who don't actually go out and steal do in our own little subtle fashion, Asteya. So we talked about ahimsa, satya, asteya, then we talked about brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, everybody doesn't live a celibate life. All of us are householders. Most of the people out here must be married, yeah? So you're not asked to live a celibate life. But at the same time, don't run after sensual pleasures in life. God has given us 5 senses. Most of the times, people indulge in their senses. खाना है तो बहुत सारा खाते बैठते हैं. I love this sweet. भाई मैं तो खाऊंगा और खाऊंगी तो I'll eat the whole dabba full of stuff. Not necessary, but so what happens is, whether it is eating something or watching something or doing something or whatever, we indulge in a lot of sensual pleasures all the time. Life is meant to be enjoyed, but not running after anything or whatever. So, stick to a straight path, do whatever needs to be done, live life king size, enjoy life. God has given us 5 senses to enjoy. But there is a limit. How much and what you should do. There should be a balance that we should maintain. The Bhagavad Gita also tells us a balance has to be maintained. You don't go to any extremes. Of whatever you do, no extreme kind of a thing, always a balance. Brahmacharya, not running after sensual pleasures in life. And the last one is aparigraha. Aparigraha is non-collection, non-accumulation of things. All our lives we spend in accumulating stuff. We are always greedy for everything, right? Whether it is money or things or ideas or what have you. Like very often I've said it on this podium itself, I personally am guilty of this last one, aparigraha. To a large extent I can say, I am not guilty of the first 4, but the last one, unfortunately, even collecting information. How much information can we collect? I'm a glutton for information. I want to know more and more and more about so many things. But there's also a limit to how much you can cram in here. Eventually what happens leads to a lot of confusion. So it's always better to take as much as you need and don't clutter up your house with too much of maybe furniture, too many clothes, too many this and too much of that. Or even clutter up your mind with too much of information or what have you. I love books. My house is full of books. So this is something I need to cut down on. Each one of us has got something that we need to sort of, So this was Yama, the first step in yoga. The second step is, so Yama, we'll just reiterate. Yama, ahimsa, non-violence in all aspects of life, thought, word and action. Satya, being honest. honest totally to oneself.